Hi, my name is Sarah Taylor, and today we are going to be talking about ethics and biblical worldview and the role that they play in instructional design. Codes of ethical behaviors have been around for educators for a very long time. They're not uncommon. However, as the use of technology in instructional design has increased, new concerns have arisen. So the Association for Educational Communications and Technology has established a code of ethics for educational technologists and those in the IT field. It identifies 3 areas of professional commitment. The first is a commitment to society. Next is a commitment to the individual, and last is a commitment to the profession. Fortunately, these commitments align with a biblical worldview, and it can be expressed by the ideas that we find in Micah 6:8, which says, "He has told you, O man, what is good. And what does the Lord require of you? But to do justice, to love kindness, and to walk humbly with your God." Let's look at these commitments together. The first is a commitment to society, and the biblical principle we can see there is to act justly. Here are some principles that one can use to be committed to society. First is to be truthful and positive and professional in all of your communications. Don't use your position for personal gain and strive to be fair and equitable in the way you serve the community. Here are some practical examples of how this commitment can be lived out in your work. First, anticipate the needs and provide support in your designs for any user, not just typical users. Ensure equal access to devices in the classroom for students and for all educators. Make sure when you report data that you report it accurately so that stakeholders and decision makers have an accurate and truthful understanding of the data that's being presented. And make sure you choose vendors based on needs and based on data, not based on a potential for personal gain. The next is a commitment to the individual, and it can be expressed in the biblical principle, love kindness. General principles for this commitment are to respect the needs of others in your designs and interactions with them. Support diversity in your designs by having representation and engagement and expression. Make sure you protect personal data and privacy as well as the student privacy data. Let's look at how these can be lived out. Of course, in our designs, we want to employ a universal design for learning. That allows for multiple means of expression and engagement for all students. Give opportunities for students to express ideas and ask questions, and give kind and thoughtful answers when students express opinions and ideas that are different than what you hold. Make sure that you're aware of laws regarding student privacy, such as the FERPA law and the COPA law, and make sure you thoroughly vet educational technology tools and websites that you use in your educational activities to ensure compliance with these laws, and obtain permission from guardians as required by law, no matter how difficult it is. The last commitment is a commitment to the profession, and it's expressed in the biblical principle, walk humbly with your God. Some principles for commitment in this profession are to interact with professional conduct toward your colleagues. Make sure you conduct your business through proper channels. Respect copyright laws when creating and sharing resources and creating content, and model these ethical behaviors regarding intellectual property for students. Here's how you can see this lived out in your practice. Conflict is going to arise between you and your colleagues. It's just a part of life. But make sure you conduct yourself with courtesy and use proper channels for resolution. Gain permission for using intellectual property when you make a design for profit. And make sure you cite intellectual property accurately when you're in educational situations that are not for profit. Of course, it's important to discuss these best practices with students and model best practices with them in classroom settings. Make sure it's part of your conversation. And in your instructional designs, include clear instructions regarding your expectations for using intellectual property in assignments. Holding ourselves to high ethical standards is a daily challenge, but it's well worth our effort. And when you understand the ethical implications of your choices. It will give you grounding as you practice your craft. I hope these principles were helpful for you as you pursue ethics in your professional practice. Have a great day.